So despite Clyde cocking things up yesterday, I got out of it with a decent profit and on a bit of a good run at the moment, as you can see there. This is not just football though. This is horse racing and greyhounds, but football is a major part of this profitable run so far. Let's take a look at yesterday's highlights. Sorry, my computer keeps switching off. That's why I'm looking at this. My laptop keeps shutting down when the screen moves. So I'm going to have to solve that issue as well. Tech and me is just not getting on. The first thing to look at yesterday was laying the draw in the Liverpool match. They had to win. Simple as that. Under new management. Had to win. Arsenal and Wolves, gentle reminder to members about the 20-minute rule. You'll know all about that. You can see there with the Kai Havertz goal. Very efficient yesterday, these shorties, rather than going for the huge number. Nice clean sheet, win 2-0. Newcastle and Saints, not all red-carded teams are layable. I hope I got that across to you yesterday in the live chat. Aston Villa, gentle reminder that they may be a solid side away from home. Started scoring 2 goals under Unai Emery away from home last season. Real sudden pattern. It did fail in the last 2 matches of the season, but I suggest they already had Europe in the bag. In Italian Serie A, called it right, but you've got to get out at the 2-1. Make sure you cash out there. That way, any of this doesn't affect you. This is 2 drop points for Inter Milan. And indeed, AC Milan couldn't take advantage. But I went to bed cursing AC Milan and yet another 0-2, which I will have to solve in the live chat webinar later on. I'll show you how to do that. We've got one solution to this 0-2 issue, which is the Achilles heel of the insurance play. But step forward. Morata, new signing, and Okafor, substitute. So I went to bed here thinking I've thrown my money away and you'll be cursing me in the morning as well. And I woke up to a 2-2. So I was absolutely delighted with that. Not much doing yesterday in the Eredivisie. We did lay the draw second half, 20 in Sparta Rotterdam, but you're saying, hang on, this is a draw. But no, you cash out at the 1-0. Take the gift, penalty. Late goal, 75th minute, and the market would have reacted by increasing the draw odds quite markedly because the favourite scored first at home. Once you cash out, it doesn't matter, does it, what the score is. Once you cash out, you can leave the match alone, having secured your return. Excellent stuff. Osasuna, eye-catching yesterday. I did mention it in the Telegram. If you did lay Leganes, well done. Deportivo La Coruña was an insurance play. They were absolutely bossing in the in-play stats. Deserved an equaliser. As you can see here, 17 goal attempts. Continued second half. 6 shots on target to 2. Really solid stuff. But they just couldn't cross the line. That's where insurance helps pay. So let me just move that down. Turkish Super League, Fenerbahce will be a little bit disappointed with that 2-2 yesterday under the special one. Belgian Jupiler League, I would take Dender out of this, newly promoted and really having an excellent season. This is why we have a watching brief with these newly promoted sides. Are they going to sink or swim? I think Dender are going to stay up. They're absolutely full of goals and they're playing some real solid yardsticks like the champions, 0-0, beating Ghent, top 5 team, 1-2, scoring 4 against Kortrijk, now getting themselves out of jail against Intruden. A real side to follow, Dender. Superb stuff. The curse of the Champions League had me very cautious with Slavia Prague yesterday, but I needn't have been. I did put up the potential for you of a 3-1 any other home score, but they didn't quite cross the line, just getting those 2 goals yet again. All of these shorties flatlining at 2 goals only yesterday. But a good win if you kept the faith in Slavia Prague. I didn't. They're playing Lille in the Champions League next week. But you either trust the odds or you don't. I don't think I actually had a play in England yesterday in the lower tiers. Possibility, I think we did an insurance play on Derby and Middlesbrough. That broke even, with Middlesbrough knocking on their door there. Portsmouth didn't take advantage of the red card. They didn't improve their shots on and off target, so I didn't lay that draw in the expectation of a Pompey win. Bristol City and Millwall. Millwall have been battling this season, but they're coming up on the wrong end. Don't forget with your 3-3s, possibility of laying the 3-3 late on, given the fact both teams have scored 3 goals, suggesting they're up for the win. Sheffield United will be bitterly disappointed, having led 2-0 at home to QPR. French Ligue 1 was a little quiet yesterday, but Lille did take advantage of the Reims red card. If you laid the draw, Lille scoring both halves, job done. They've got upcoming Champions League football as well. I've been absolutely delighted with the German DBF Pokal. Mönchengladbach helped us out yesterday, coming from behind. And we laid the draw in the Union Berlin match, and Union Berlin got the goal. Draw odds were very reasonable for an odds-on favourite at 0-0 at half-time. It's been an excellent league. Why is it working? It's because the Bundesliga begins next weekend. So these Bundesliga sides are going to be feeling, I would suspect, a first 11. Leipzig as well, don't forget them, conceded first. And look at that, 1-4. Bayer Leverkusen, don't forget them. 2 goals yet again in 90 minutes, coming from behind against Stuttgart with another late goal. That was a pattern at the back end of last season, scoring very late equalisers and very late winners under Xabi Alonso. I've looked at the team. They don't seem to have sold any of the big guns. That's always a worry when you've had an outstanding season, that you could get plundered. But it looks as if they've kept the vast majority of last season's first 11. They are a side to follow this season. And you're going to if you enter the match expecting at least 2 goals from Leverkusen, that will be a good trading angle, won't it? Greek Super League, nice to see the big guns out. And Panathinaikos did score first against PAOK, but that one rather missed me. One of the only sides at these kind of odds to have scored 3 goals yesterday, and they needed them. But 2 of these goals were a penalty, so a tad lucky, PAOK, yesterday. I went to bed yesterday with thinking AC Milan had lost me money, but I did back Benfica at half-time, and I covered the 0-0, and they turned up. They had to win, having lost to Famalicão in their opener. Job done, 3 second-half goals, excellent stuff. Could be up and running
this market
this season.
Is now in play.
Concerningly, they have sold their major striker to Paris Saint-Germain as a stopgap in the absence of Kylian Mbappe. Scotland will probably be next here, and you have my permission to kick me in the knackers the next time I go to Scottish League 2. Clyde were absolutely dominating this match. Clear as day. I think 10 times out of 10 I would have done the same play. But we got done later yet again by a 0-2. And this is a recurring pattern which needs addressing. 90th minute with Famalicão and Benfica. 84th minute here. And indeed, AC Milan earlier on, 0-2 again. So I'm going to have to address this in a live chat webinar today. Full loss for me there. Bitterly disappointed to have been lured in to these lower tier leagues. It was liquid enough. Never again. We've got the elites. We don't need to be going down that level. We just quality over quantity. We've got far too many quality readable sides. We don't need to be relying on an orangutan from a Clint Eastwood movie to get us a goal. Looking on to today, London Derby. and derby style match, Chelsea-Man City, makes for a very difficult to read coupon. Crystal Palace are
This market has been
of Elise, who was one of the key goal scorers last season. That's going to be a huge absentee. Crystal Palace, under the new manager, he started them scoring 2 or 3 goals, even away from home. So if they can ignite like they did in the back end of the season, Crystal Palace are a force to be reckoned with this season. Could even go top 5, top 6, top 7. But they should have kept Elise. Huge absentee. Serie A is a little difficult today. I can't. The research is there for you if you want it. But for me, it's, as you know, In-Play Stats is the boss on the opening day of the season. We've got 4 out of 4 odds on favourites. Napoli, well, a watching brief for them. Bitterly disappointing as champions last year. Absolutely nowhere near the standard you expect of champions. Udinese, far too many draws last year. Are they going to solve that issue this year? Lazio are playing newly promoted Venezia in their opener. You should be eyeing a home win. PSV and Feyenoord, 2 likely championship contenders in the Eredivisie. Don't forget the new manager for Feyenoord now, Arne Slot, is off. So watching brief against PEC Zwolle, they really should have too much Feyenoord in them. PSV Eindhoven as well are playing Heracles, notably. Heracles and Zwolle were the newly promoted sides last season and have stayed up. So that gives you a gauge. It's likely to be a comfortable win, but don't forget these shorties yesterday tended to level out at 0-2. So that could be probably a scoreline they'll be aiming for today. Just a comfortable initial win on the opening day of the season. Real Madrid have a certain Kylian Mbappe in the lineup. It's likely to produce a comfortable win. Mallorca, though, are an excellent home side, very defensively sound, and they're going to give Real Madrid something to work with. But Kylian Mbappe is going to be the difference in these tight matches from this season onwards. Watch out. Besiktas, the standout side for me in Turkey today. Rapid Vienna at home to Swarovski Tyrol, also known as Wattens. And I tend to star odds on favourites, so they go into the My Games facility. The market's already done the work for you. Your job as a trader is to see whether the market is accurate in play, particularly if Tyrol score first. 3 out of 3 odds on favourites in Croatia today. Looking forward to that one. And we've got the Czech one leg, which has served us rather well, particularly the Pragues. You had Dukla Prague, newly promoted, losing yesterday, and the 2 Slavias and Spartas, well worth following. Poulsen enter that equation as well. Slovan Liberec, strong favourites against Pardubice as well. It's a league well worth following. Danish Super League has the old familiar faces. Brøndby and FC Copenhagen. They've been excellent so far this season. I just hope their reliability continues this. Really good trading sides. Sunderland take on Sheffield Wednesday today. Tough to call. 2.2 the favourite. League One as well is going to be a tough to call match. Wrexham, newly promoted. Ryan Reynolds' team. They could thrive in English League One, given Moneybags Reynolds is behind them. Finnish Veikkaus League, I won't get any research today, but we've got our usual suspects. HJK against newly promoted Ekenes. Really should be eyeing the 3 points. That's the standout. KUPS looks like a tough encounter against Ilves. But they are an excellent side. Should be a title contenders this season, KUPS. But it's one of those derby-style matches. I'd call it the Finnish version of Chelsea against Man City. It's a derby-style match, I think. Ilves are looking for an assault on the title this season. One of the unexpected newcomers, well, to the league title. French League 1. A very tough coupon, it looks, generally speaking. 2.5 the favourite, Nice. Lens, odds on favourites against Angers. Are Angers newly promoted? We know how to look into that now, don't we? Simple click here. Go to H2H. Go before the CFs, which were the friendlies, and you'll see Ligue 2. Angers are newly promoted. So what I would tend to do with these, as with odds on favourites, just coincidental, happens to be, target them. Some of them, like Dender, are going to survive. Some of them are going to be vulnerable. It's up to us to find out which ones. To be welcomed today, it's been an excellent competition, as I've already told you. Augsburg, Bundesliga side. Paderborn, 1.05. Hertha Berlin, Bundesliga side. Elversberg, Hildesheim, I would suspect, very lower tier side. Just been an excellent competition. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It's produced 100% winning trades so far. Hamburg, strong favourite as well. Well worth following from midday onwards. Big guns in the Greek Super League. AEK Athens were very poor against Noah in Europe. But they and Panathinaikos must win, with the two big guns winning yesterday. It was a very tight title competition last season. So you're already entering must-win territory for both of these two sides. They are at home and they can't slip up. The point could be the difference between the title or not. Bohemians, well, Kerry tend to be labelled all day long, but are Bohemians up for the cup? Italian Serie B, well worth having on the radar. 7:30 level kickoffs today. Watching brief. The market can't get a handle on a number of these matches, which is a hint in itself that it's watching brief. Sampdoria, what a pity, eh? The fall from grace for Sampdoria. Braga, the missing piece. Sporting Lisbon, Porto, Benfica, and then Braga. Watch out for Braga. They have a reputation for being full of goals. Victoria Guimaraes playing Estoril. I'm not sure if Estoril are newly promoted. We can double check that now, can't we? H2H. Go back before the friendlies. CFs. No, they were in the Liga Portugal last season, so it's not a side to target. Pacos Ferreiro Rocher. I think they were newly relegated, weren't they? The ambassadors' favourite team. Lots of friendlies. No, they were in La Liga Portugal 2 last season. Familiar name. They used to be in the top flight. So watch out for the newly relegated in La Liga 2. Well worth following again. Well, the Scottish League Cup did yield us a trade or two yesterday. The standout, of course, is Celtic. But we've got a pair of tough fixtures with all Scottish Premier League sides playing each other. I do in the Cup prefer to see a nice gap in the leagues. Make it rather obvious, of course, for us. That's it for today. Swiss Cup as well. St Gallen from the Super League. Zurich from the Super League. Lugano from the Super League and Servette. You'll see this pattern in European Cup matches. The favourite tends to be away. You saw that in Germany as well. Turkish One League. Igdir, haven't heard of them, look like a newly promoted, so lots of new names there, so watching brief there. Live chat webinar, not sure when I'll start. I'll try to work that out for you, probably 12:30 or 1 o'clock, but I'll confirm that. We've got new software. It gave it a good run out yesterday, OBS Studio, and thank you to Gordon. It didn't shut down properly, just run normally. So please remember, I'm not a techie. So if there are any tech issues, I am my IT department and I haven't got a Scooby-Doo half the time. I did get this working yesterday. So fingers crossed I can get it working again. I will be starting about half an hour to 45 minutes before the live chat is set to begin to make sure that all of this is working and I can hear myself and the screen share works. So look forward to a live chat webinar later on. Look forward to an excellent day. We've got to solve this 0-2 issue, which I'll be focusing on in the live chat webinar today, and I'll provide you with examples if one pops up. So rather than doing the usual insurance route on 1 or 2 examples today, I'll be going the John H route, an excellent idea from John H, which does solve the 0-2 issue. So I look forward to seeing you a bit later on for a live chat webinar. To be confirmed, the time at footballtradingprofits.com. I'll confirm the time for you. Just got to look at the earliest kickoff and join it from there. Probably, I would say 1 p.m, 12:30, something like that would fit in nicely. Have a great day, and I'll see you later on.